Welcome to the Cross Canada Spotlight. I'm Mike Arsenault. Every week we take a look at a handful of the most interesting and entertaining stories produced across the Global News Network. Our first story on this Boxing Day is from Ontario, where a family was able to restore a long-lost family treasure thanks to the generosity and donations from across Canada.
I see him, I see him inside the car.
Marissa Petitella and her family started 2021 with an impossible dream of tracking down a car.
If we could find it, that would be one of the best things ever.
That dream came true one snowy day in January in the back lot of an auto shop.
Surreal. I feel so overwhelmed with emotion.
You see this Honda, that blue one that no longer ran, the one with the rusting frame that had long lost its original saffron orange exterior, might not have looked like much, but to Marissa, it was priceless, as it once belonged to her husband Anthony, who died more than 10 years ago of cancer. Getting the vehicle back was emotional. Restoring it has been another adventure, given it was in such bad shape.
Because the car's so old and so rare, it would be very hard to find the parts at this point. So if you could find a donor car of the same year in decent shape, then it would be far easier to just kind of lift and land. See him again in there.
The family didn't know where to find one, but someone from the car community reached out.
It was unbelievable within 24 hours that he came through with this, and it was exactly what we needed.
Out of nowhere, more people from across Canada stepped up to help. Staff at the garage where Anthony worked came back together to help rebuild the car. A towing company in Markham offered to bring the donor car there free of charge. Brake calipers were donated by friends in Mississauga. EBAC springs sourced in St. Catharines. An airbox and intake was sent from Langley, British Columbia. Piece by piece, one donation after another, years of wear and tear melted away.
It was just such a sense of joy to know that people wanted to be a part of this and to help us.
And then in December came the paint.
Oh my God. Unreal.
Watching that whole process of 6 months just pass through your eyes, and now finally you've got color on it, it starts to bring the whole project together.
A color that instantly transports Marissa to another place.
Standing here amongst all these people, but I'm literally brought right back to a time where I feel him. It's coming back, look at it.
As one coat and then another washed over the beloved vehicle, so too did the tears on the cheeks of Anthony's family.
In the shop right there, I felt it right. He was watching us. Like he was watching me with the girl.
There is still lots of work to be done to get this car back on the road, but the family says they're hoping to have it ready by the spring.
Until then, the vehicle remains a miracle for the family and a sign that anything is possible with the love and support of others.
We're keeping him alive in our everyday lives, and that we're bringing this to the girls. And that's the most important thing for me, is that we have a piece of him in some capacity for the girls.
Wow.
Catherine Ward, Global News.
What an amazing holiday gift for that family. The emotion they experienced finding Anthony's car just leapt off the screen. And the help they received from car people across the country makes you feel good about humanity in a world that seems increasingly devoid of it. To Alberta now, where the province is currently hosting the World Junior Hockey Championships, and a local Indigenous artist is getting a big publicity boost at the tournament.
6 months ago, Indigenous artist Jason Carter almost deleted the opportunity of a lifetime.
This, email from Hockey Canada, which I assumed was spam, but then as I started to look a little bit closer, realized that it was legitimate.
It's a good thing he looked. Hockey Canada asked if he would be interested in creating the awards for the player of the game at the World Juniors.
It really means a lot to me as an artist, and be able to share my work as well as to a lot broad audience.
Carter took on hand painting 150 hockey sticks. He designed a grizzly bear talking to the Northern Lights.
I was trying to kind of capture a feeling of that moment of triumph, winning, player of the game.
While the players trained for the championship, Carter was putting in his own long hours, painting more than 12 hours a day for 3 weeks.
I didn't realize how much work it was going to be just to prep the dang thing, because I had to sand all of the clear coat off of the stick before I could paint them. And then I had to paint a base blue, and that took multiple coats.
This is not Carter's usual canvas.
Its mouth is open, you can see its teeth, and I've got these little tiny slivers of white trying to do that with a tiny little brush, and I love painting in big and scale, so that was the biggest challenge, was painting small.
For him, these sticks are all about the athletes.
A representation of their hard work, their perseverance.
But that perseverance is shared by the players who will take one of the sticks home with the artists behind them. Sarah Comedina, Global News.
As if the players in the tournament needed further incentive to win a Player of the Game award. Those sticks are beautiful. I'd skate a little bit harder myself to get my hands on one of those. And Jason answered a question that I had. The attention to detail on such a small surface would be so difficult to create. I wouldn't have the patience, well, I definitely don't have the artistic talent. Staying with the art theme, a local artist in our nation's capital is making some big noise by going small.
It's been said that art is all around us, even if we hardly notice while hunched over our phones. The size of some murals or sculptures make them hard to miss. But if you look hard enough around Ottawa, you'll find some masterpieces are mini. These little clay creations are hidden around Ottawa in plain sight. However, they're hard to spot because most are the size of a dime or fingernail, and making them is no easy task.
A lollipop can take a couple of minutes. Something like a charcuterie board, though, could take up to 3 to 4 hours, depending on the different pieces.
She goes by Sam, or Street Art Miniature. The civil servant works surreptitiously, so we've agreed to keep her identity secret. Often she'll place a piece at night or quickly during the day. And like other street artists, she wants her work to be the focus.
I want to stop someone in their day and think, what? Why is that there? A tiny hot dog on a brick wall? That's strange. The juxtaposition of it is just so odd.
She does give clues about where she's left the clay carvings, and the minis have a major following. John Normando has hunted them with his partner since 2017, and they head out every time there's a new post.
You want to go see it in person, just to appreciate it in person, but also we found that we really started appreciating the actual hunt itself as well.
Normando isn't her only fan. The makers of a locally made milk-based vodka collaborated with Sam for a major mini marketing campaign.
Obviously, we're not going to be able to compete with the big guys in terms of spending, so we have to do something that's a little different and a little interesting. And if it could also mean supporting a local artist and doing something fun, then all the better.
And that's Sam's goal, to bring a little fun to people's day, especially during the pandemic.
Trying to encourage people to go out and explore their neighborhoods and just go for a walk, get some fresh air, try to enjoy yourself during this time.
And to keep an eye on your surroundings, because you never know what you may find. Mike Couture, Global News, Ottawa.
Try to enjoy yourself during this time. Very salient words from Sam, sorely needed during the pandemic. It's been tough to do that over the past 2 years. Now, I'm not a major art fan, it's never really been my thing, but good for Sam and her fans for trying to find a little bit of joy in their day. Back to Alberta for a father and son connection 5 decades in the making, and it's all thanks to a found time capsule.
Inside the paper was even, it was interesting. They were talking about, Concord.
Some of the headlines from 1968, a glimpse of the past found under these stairs.
Our contractor lifted it and found the package underneath, deep next to the foundation. It looked like a Subway sandwich wrapped in craft paper with lots of question marks all over it.
The construction crew made the discovery on December 1st, more than 50 years after it was hidden. The package placed there by SAIT instructor Donald Katouk, who was also a bricklayer.
He also worked for Alberta Public Works. He was a history buff and he was in the military, and we know that there is a strong military history with this building.
Along with the Calgary Herald, some Legion and Auto magazines, and other documents, as well as a centennial dime. The package addressed to Donald's son William, who was just 3 at the time.
Here you go, William. I think this belongs to you.
The most amazing part, SAIT didn't have to go too far to deliver the package.
A part-time teacher here for one class, one of their winter classes.
William, following in his father's footsteps, started working at SAIT about 5 years ago, walking by this spot hundreds of times.
He had his hand on a lot of these buildings. He loved these buildings. We were going by here when I was maybe around 12 years old, and Dad told me that he had put something under the steps here that don't be surprised if you get a call one day.
Sadly, Donald passed away in 1987. But for his children, this discovery, a cherished gift so close to the holidays.
That's a pretty amazing little Christmas present 53 years later.
The past catching up with the present, and a chance for a father to say one last hello to his son. Therese Nagai, Global News.
Wow, I have to admit, that story gave me goosebumps. What a cool story it was, and it's amazing that William works at the same school that his father did. And with his dad passing away over 30 years ago, it's probably brought back a flood of cherished memories for him as well. Some very heartwarming stories this week, and let's keep that going for one more. In Kingston, Ontario, a similar story to the one we just saw, as a mystery couple was tracked down from an old photo.
On this quiet street in Kingston, a home renovation marked the beginning of a walk down memory lane.
It's just kind of a mystery. It was kind of like, okay, who was this? Were they former owners of the house? Is it somebody from the neighborhood? Was it friends?
Garrett Elliott was renovating his Pimlico Place home's ensuite washroom when he found an old Polaroid photo of a couple from the 1970s or 80s stuck under his vanity. He took to social media in his search to identify the pair, finding a lead on Vintage Kingston, a Facebook page that explores the city's history.
When I saw Bob and Donna's picture, and somebody else commented that it was a different person, but said, no. These people were my neighbors across the street. They've become friends of ours. It's not them, it's Bob and Donna.
With that confirmation, Bob and Donna Fitzsimmons were identified as the pair in the photo.
I am so grateful to Garrett for redoing the bathroom and putting in a new counter, because it has given us a trip down memory lane that we really needed at this time of year and at this time period.
Now living outside Perth, Ontario, Donna says that the couple has no idea how the picture would have gotten there, but was likely taken around 1978 during a New Year's Eve party.
It clearly was an important part of the time in our lives. We moved down there, didn't know anybody, and in 1976, so...
The pair has since received calls from old friends and neighbors reliving past memories.
Kingston is a small town where everybody seems to know everybody else. So I think people had a lot of fun saying, I think that looks like, or maybe that's this person, or I'll ask my grandma. And, people are having those conversations and reliving those memories from the 70s or 80s. So that's pretty cool.
Elliot hopes to return the photo to the Fitzsimmons as a reminder of their happy memories. Megan King, Global News, Kingston.
How cool is that? That's inspiring me to create my own time capsule to bury somewhere. You can tell the walk down memory lane means so much to those people. I hope you and your loved ones have a safe and happy holiday season. That's it for the Cross Canada Spotlight this week. Be sure to watch Global News Weekend Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7 a.m. on the Global TV app and Amazon Prime Video.